ashram, not only to the sages of that place of pilgrimage, but also to Naranarayan deities. Such a message must have been more confidential than the knowledge described in the pages of the Vedas. The Lord is undoubtedly the source of all knowledge, and the messages dispatched through Uddhava to Naranarayan and other sages were also part of the Vedic knowledge. But they were more confidential and could be sent or understood only through such a pure devotee as Uddhava. Since such confidential knowledge was only known to the Lord and Uddhava, it is said that Uddhava was as good as the Lord himself. Every living entity can, like Uddhava, also become a confidential messenger on the same level as the Lord, provided he becomes confidential himself by dint of loving devotional service. Such confidential knowledge is trusted, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, only to pure devotees like Uddhava and Arjun, and one has to learn the mystery through them and not otherwise. One cannot understand the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam without the help of such confidential devotees of the Lord. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that confidential message must have concerned the mystery of his departure and the annihilation of his dynasty after the end of his appearance in the mundane world for 100 years. Everyone must have been very anxious to know about the mystery of the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty, and that message must have been explained by the Lord to Uddhava and dispatched to Padrika Ashram for the information of Naranarayan and other pure devotees of the Lord. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadotam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Ramo Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. This particular section of the Srimad Bhagavatam that we are discussing is a very instructive and a very beautiful section where Uddhava, who is one of the confidential devotees of the Lord, is being given a secret message to carry out to Badrikashram to Naranarayan Rishis. And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about how various pastimes of the Lord are not easy to understand and are highly confidential. And such confidential pastimes can be understood through great acharyas. We are on the eve of Gaur Purnima, just a few days from now. Less than a week from now, we are going to celebrate Gaur Purnima. And I thought that it will be apt to discuss that secret pastime of the Lord. And the way we're going to be discussing Gaur Purnima and the whole mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to be very unique. I'm going to be sharing with you all today 3 stories. And through these stories, we're going to understand the entire concept of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Why does Krishna appear in a golden form? And the whole mood behind Krishna's appearance, which is considered to be the most confidential pastime, the most confidential aspect of the Lord's appearance in this world. That is one of the reasons why the Lord is called Channa Avatar. He is called a hidden incarnation. And so we're going to go into the depths of what really the golden form of the Lord indicates, and what is the mood behind Lord Chaitanya appearing in this world, and what is the connection between Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So what I'm going to be speaking is based on 2 books primarily. One is the book by Shivram Maharaj called Na Parayeham, and the second is a book, an article rather, by Gauranga Maharaj, which talks about certain secrets of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So combined together is what I'm going to present today, and hopefully, the pastime that we're going to be discussing, it is such a highly confidential and a highly evolved pastime. I'm going to attempt to explain it and help you all understand it in a way that is easy to digest. But obviously, I'm right in the beginning telling that I don't feel qualified to speak about it. I don't feel that I intellectually understand it fully. But what I feel is that when you read something and you discuss it, you share it, then you understand it better. So I just, I've been just absorbed in Gaur Leela for the last couple of days. And when I read this, I just felt this nectar has to reach the world. I don't know if any of you will ever read Na Parayam in your life, but I felt that it is my duty and my service to share this nectar with all of you. And hopefully, when you hear this, you will be inspired to actually go and explore more in depth. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna makes a promise. So he says, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam tathaiva vajamyaham. So where Krishna is declaring to Arjuna, and through Arjuna to all of us, that the way a devotee surrenders to me, I will reciprocate. Now obviously, this is a pledge that Krishna has given. The way a devotee reciprocates with him, he will reciprocate accordingly. Now when Krishna makes a promise, he has to keep that promise, right? But the fact is that he himself breaks the promise once. When the gopis of Vrindavan, they come to meet Lord Krishna during the Rasa Leela, at that point of time, Krishna, he admits to the gopis that I cannot repay you back for what you are doing for me. The love that you are showering on me, I cannot repay you back. That's what the meaning of the word Na Parayeham means. Na Parayeham means I cannot repay back. So Krishna is revealing his helplessness to the gopis. And he's saying that I'm not able to repay my debt for your spotless service. And he says, even within a lifetime of Brahma, I can't repay you back. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, connecting all your domestic ties, which are very difficult to break. So therefore, he says, let your compensation be your own glories. I can't pay you back. So now, look at this. Krishna is saying that, on one hand, in the Bhagavad Gita, he promises, whatever way a devotee reciprocates with me, with great confidence, he says, I will reciprocate back. Now, for you and me, it's easy for him to reciprocate back because our devotion itself is so shallow. Our devotion itself is so hollow. So he doesn't have to put much endeavors to reciprocate back with us. But when it comes to the gopis of Vrindavan, when it specifically comes to Srimati Radharani, somehow Krishna feels I am unable to repay back. So now, how do you understand this contradiction? On one hand, he is saying, I'll repay back, or I will reciprocate. On another hand, he is saying, I cannot. What is the meaning of this contradiction? Or how do you understand this contradiction? To resolve this contradiction, you need to look at two aspects of Krishna and his reciprocation. There is a qualitative aspect and there is a quantitative aspect. So, Shyam Sundar Krishna is very successful in reciprocating with his devotees quantitatively. But qualitatively, he fails to reciprocate with his devotees. The reason because there are some reasons which are beyond Krishna and therefore he is not able to reciprocate. And one of the simple reasons is that all the gopis, they have one-pointed devotion to Krishna. They only love Krishna. But Krishna has to love so many gopis. There itself is a problem. So, when the gopis, for them, they only love Krishna. That's all. Their 100% attention is on Krishna. But now Krishna has to reciprocate to thousands and millions of gopis. How can his 100% attention be on one? Isn't it? That's where he fails. And so it is explained that when Krishna is trying to reciprocate with the gopis, he is at different points in time feeling that I am not capable of reciprocating enough. For example, one time during the Rasa dance, Krishna is dancing with all the gopis. And Krishna expands himself into as many gopis as there are. And he feels in his heart, I have done it. All of them are reciprocating with me. And I am able to reciprocate with all of them because I've expanded myself into millions of forms. But when he feels I have reciprocated properly, at that time Radharani gets up and walks away. She feels, I am not satisfied with your reciprocation. She feels, I should be the only person you reciprocate with. And Krishna suddenly feels helpless. How can that be possible, isn't it? So he feels, a little helpless in that. So it is explained that seeing the love that the gopis have for him and seeing the affection specifically of Srimati Radharani towards him, Krishna feels indebted. And there are 4 debts that Krishna has towards the gopis. The first debt that Krishna has is that the gopis have sacrificed everything. They've given up their families, they've given up their occupation, they've given up their lives, they've given up everything, they've given up their chastity for the sake of Krishna. What has Krishna given up for them? Because he is God, he can't give up anything. Because if he gives up, then the world will not function. So Krishna cannot give up his duties for reciprocating with the gopis. So this is the first debt. So Krishna feels that, my behavior is not right. I am not able to reciprocate in the way the gopis are able to reciprocate. So gopis have given up all their duties, they have abandoned everything for Krishna. But Krishna feels, I can't do that. So that's the first debt that Krishna has towards the gopis. The second debt is because Krishna is inequitable in his dealings. So basically, Krishna feels that I am not reciprocating equally to everyone. For some of the gopis, he is being a little more, spending a little more time. He is being a little more loving. But for some of the gopis, he is not able to do that. So he feels that because the gopis are, absolutely reciprocating with me, but I am not able to reciprocate equally to all. So he feels this is the second debt that he has towards the gopis. The third debt he has towards the gopis is that for him to please the gopis, for him to satisfy the gopis, he needs their help. Now imagine dancing in the Rasa dance without musical instruments. Will the Rasa dance be same without music, without veena, without musical instruments being played, without somebody singing? So Krishna, in order to reciprocate with the gopis, he needs their help only. In order to make the gopis happy, he needs their help. But the gopis don't need Krishna's help to make him happy. They're able to make Krishna happy without his help. And therefore Krishna feels, I'm indebted to them. Because for me to please them also, I need them. And the fourth debt that Krishna has towards the gopis is that he is feeling that I am not able to reciprocate in the manner that is equal to what their reciprocation is. This is the first thing that I spoke about. The gopis are putting 100%, but Krishna his 100% is divided among millions of them. Therefore, he feels that he is indebted to them. So now Krishna, he is feeling burdened by this debt. Anybody who takes a loan, anybody who borrows money from somebody else, they cannot feel happy till that loan is closed. So Krishna is probably the first person who took such a big loan. And he has taken such a massive loan that he feels even lifetimes of Brahma is not enough for me to reciprocate, and fulfill the debt that I have taken from the gopis. And he feels so burdened, and he feels just like, he feels that I need to take shelter of some big moneylender to fulfill the debt that I have for the gopis. And he's thinking, where do I find such a big moneylender who will help me reciprocate with the gopis enough? And that's when Krishna feels that for me to be able to reciprocate with the gopis and their love, I need help of somebody else. And he feels somewhere that I myself cannot do this. So Krishna is feeling indebted, but at the same time, the way Krishna is as a person, he is not able to fulfill his promises because he is in the mood of an enjoyer. When somebody is in the mood of an enjoyer, they cannot fulfill all their promises properly. So there's a very beautiful pastime of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan that actually shows how Krishna is not able to fulfill his promises simply because he is not in the mood the gopis are. What are the mood of the gopis? The mood of the gopis is that they are in a very selfless mood. They are in the mood of giving themselves completely to Krishna. But Krishna is not in that mood. He wants to hold back some things. Here is one example of how Krishna cannot give everything because he holds back something, because he is the enjoyer. There's a very sweet pastime where Krishna is with the gopis one day, and he is playing a game of dice with Srimati Radharani. So Radha and Krishna are playing this game of dice which is described in Govinda Leelamrit. And this game of dice is happening on the northwest corner of Radhakund, and in a small grove in which there are beautiful decorations and so many beautiful birds are chirping. And in that grove, Radha and Krishna are playing together a game of dice. So Krishna is sitting here, Radha is sitting opposite him, and there are some sakhas and sakhis around them. And the sakhas and sakhis, they are in the mood of challenging and making one of them win the game. Obviously, all the sakhis are siding Radharani, all the sakhas are siding Krishna. And there is intense competition over here. And Madhumangal is Krishna's advisor in this game. And Lalita Devi is Radharani's advisor in this game. And Subala throws dice on behalf of Krishna, and Sudevi throws dice on behalf of Radha. And there were two gopis who were the official referees. There's a gopi called Nandamukhi, and there's another gopi called Vrinda. They are the official referees of this game of dice. Krishna's dice is golden in color, like Radha. And Radha's dice is black in color, like Krishna. And both the participants and audience were really excited about this game of dice. And there was a lot of hooting and cheering. And, the Sakhis of Radha telling Radha, go and get him. The Sakhas of Krishna telling Krishna, win this game. And like this, there is a excitement. The first game is going to be played. And the first game, the stakes are very high. Krishna stakes his pet deer named Suranga in this game. And Radharani stakes her pet doe named Rangini in this game. And the first game itself, Krishna wins. And Madhumangal goes and drags the doe of Radharani and brings it to Krishna's side. And Krishna and Madhumangal are so happy. In the second throw, Radha and Krishna, they wage their necklaces. Radha is waging her necklace and Krishna is waging his necklace. And Madhumangal, he is so excited in this game that he tries to create more of competition. And he tells Krishna, Krishna, put an end to this sari. In Sanskrit, the word sari has many meanings. And one of the meanings of the word sari is game. Put an end to this game. That means he's telling Krishna, finish this game, win this game. There is a beautiful bird whose name is Sarika. When she hears Madhumangal saying, put an end to sari, she runs away, thinking that Madhumangal is telling her to kill her. And all the gopas and gopis are laughing like anything, looking at that bird run away. The second wager also Krishna wins. Now the third wager goes even higher. This time Krishna wages his flute and Radharani wages her veena named Pavika. And this time both of them had to throw a total of 17. And Radha, so basically Krishna, he throws his dice, and then after that Radharani throws her dice. And the moment Radharani throws her dice, the gopis, all of them shout out, Krishna, you have lost. Radharani looks at Krishna and she tells Krishna, give us your flute. Krishna immediately says, no, I can't give my flute. See, Krishna is an enjoyer, so he doesn't give away anything. So he wants to hold everything that he loves. There's no question of sacrifice. Krishna doesn't know how to sacrifice. The gopis have given everything to him. They've given their very life to him. They have abandoned their families for him. They've given up practically everything that socially is considered to be important for a girl. But here Krishna is not ready to give up his flute also. Radharani gets really angry on Krishna. She says, Krishna, you can't do this. You have to give us the flute. I have won rightly. And Radharani, she understands that Krishna doesn't want to give up his flute. So she jumps on Krishna. She tries to pull Krishna's flute from him. And as she jumps, she somehow falls on Krishna and Krishna falls on his back. And Radharani falls over him. And in the middle of this whole fight, Krishna is trying to protect his flute. Somehow Krishna loses his balance. And in that little moment that Krishna loses his balance, Radharani picks up that flute and throws it back at one of the gopis. And one of the gopis, she catches the flute of Krishna and tucks it in her braid. So Krishna suddenly, he gets up and he finds his flute is missing. He starts shouting, where is my flute? Where is my flute? Where is my flute? And Radharani says, see, you have lost it. So Krishna says, no, you have stolen it from me. And Radharani tells him, what is the use of that flute for me? If I burn that flute, not even one lota of water can be, or one lota of milk can be heated up. That piece of stick is useless for me. And like this, Radha and Krishna are having a beautiful fight. But the point of the story is very simple. That Krishna, he doesn't know how to give up. He doesn't know how to sacrifice. Because he is in the mood of an enjoyer. Because he is in the mood of an enjoyer, he just doesn't know how to give up. And therefore, imagine, this is a very small debt that he had. Radharani won a game, and now Krishna is indebted to Radha, right? When he loses a game, he is indebted. So he should just give the flute. But he is not even able to pay this small debt of one flute. What to speak of the big debt, the 4 big debts that are there. So Krishna, he feels that for me to reciprocate with the gopis and give my, repay the debt, I need help. And he realizes that I cannot do it on my own. I need the help of acharyas for me to be able to reciprocate and repay the debt back. It is explained that Krishna is black in color. And it is explained that Sham Varna is a color of enjoyment. As long as Krishna is in Sham Varna, he will never be in the mood of sacrifice. He will never be able to repay back. He is always thinking of taking. And only when he gives up the Sham Varna and he assumes a golden Varna, the golden color is a mood of Vinaya. And it is a mood, the golden complexion is a mood of sacrifice, of giving. So Krishna, he realizes that the only way that I can repay the debt back is if I give up the Sham Varna and accept a golden Varna of Radha. The golden color of Radha is a color of loving service. The Sham Varna, the black color of Krishna, is a color of enjoyment. And therefore Krishna realizes that if I have to repay back the debt, the only way I can repay back the debt is if I can take the color of Radha and the mood of Radha. And how can I take the mood of Radha and the color of Radha? For that I need a guru, I need a teacher. I need the acharyas to inspire me to take up that color. And only then I can take up that mood of Radha. So this way, Krishna, he feels that I need to take on this form of Radha to be able to repay the gopis all the debt that they have, and all the debt that I have towards them. One particular night, Radha and Krishna, they decide to meet. And when they decide to meet, Radha leaves her house in the middle of the night in a white sari. And she wears a beautiful pearl necklace around her neck, and she leaves from her house in the middle of the night. Radha is traveling through the forest path, and she is traveling very carefully so that she is not noticed by any of the villagers. And at the same time, Krishna is leaving from his house in Nandabhavan. It is explained that in Nandagram, Mother Yashoda has put Krishna to bed. Mother Yashoda narrates stories of Lord Ram to Krishna and puts him to bed, and Krishna goes to sleep. Mother Yashoda locks the door and goes out, thinking that Krishna has gone to sleep. As soon as Mother Yashoda walks out of the room, Krishna gets up. And Krishna, he dresses up, tucks his flute, and runs out of the house from the back door. And silently, he goes around and reaches the place where Radha and Krishna are supposed to meet. Krishna is in great anxiety that I should not be late. In the middle of the night, Radharani is going to be waiting for me. I should not get late. And Krishna very quickly proceeds to where the meeting place was. When Krishna reaches the meeting place, Radha was still very far away, because she's still trying to dodge all the villagers, trying to not get noticed. She's trying to hide and come, so it's taking her more time to reach over there. And Krishna has already reached there, and he is walking around very restlessly waiting for Radha to come. And every time he hears even a slight twig breaking or a slight leaf rustling, he immediately feels Radhika has come. And with so much of anxiety, he finally sits down, trying to comfort himself under a imli tal. When he sits down under an imli tree, he closes his eyes. He takes on a meditative posture, closes his eyes, and starts remembering the beautiful form of Radha. And as he is closing his eyes and trying to focus on the beauty of Vrindavan and trying to focus on Radha being in that place, he suddenly starts chanting the name of Radha from his mouth. Radha, 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 Radha. From his mouth he is chanting the names of Radha. And as Krishna is chanting the names of Radha, sitting under that imli tree, he suddenly feels that I am so unqualified. He thinks that how can I be qualified to receive the love of Radha? And he feels that Radha is much more qualified than me, but she is loving me. I am so fortunate. Krishna feels like that. And Krishna, in this mood of very intensely chanting the name of Radha, Krishna appears to be the king of all yogis. In a trance, he's chanting the name of Radha. And as Krishna is chanting the name of Radha, at that point in time, Radharani is coming closer towards that particular place. And as Krishna is chanting the name of Radha more intensely, his form begins to change. His black color complexion starts changing into a golden complexion. And he has still curly hair, and he's still wearing his pitambari clothes, he's still wearing his jewelry, he's still wearing a peacock feather. But his entire complexion takes the complexion of molten gold of Radharani. And at that point, Radharani comes over there. And she sees, she was expecting Krishna to be there, but instead of Krishna, she sees a golden boy over there. And she is very puzzled. Who is this golden boy who is looking so handsome, who is looking so effulgent? And then she thinks, maybe I've come to the wrong place. And she thinks, maybe this is an exalted yogi meditating over here. I should not disturb him. And she's leaving. As she's turning back to leave, she suddenly hears the voice of Krishna chanting the name of Radha. And as she hears the voice of Shyamsundar taking the name of Radha, she suddenly realizes, hey, this is my Hari. This is my Krishna who is chanting my names. And she turns back and she is mesmerized by this form of Krishna. She's never seen Krishna in a golden form. She is amazed. She comes closer to Krishna and she is waiting for Krishna to open his eyes. Krishna senses someone has come close to him. And then he opens his eyes and he sees Radha. And when he sees Radha, he feels that he is Radha. Radha is standing there right in front of him, but he's also golden in color. Suddenly he feels, I am only Radha, Radha is only me. This is not Mayavad. This is another level of love where the beloved and the lover are feeling that they are one and the same. Technically, in mundane terms, it's all commonly said, right? We both are one. But this is the actual meaning of that. They both are one. Krishna actually feels that I am Radha. And Radha is looking at Krishna, she's totally bewildered. And then as Krishna looks at Radha's beautiful form, his blackish Shyam Varna starts coming back again. Why? Because he gets into the mood of being an enjoyer again. The moment Krishna gets into the mood of being an enjoyer, he becomes black in color. And when Krishna is in the mood of being a servant and wanting to sacrifice himself for the enjoyment of his beloved, then he becomes golden in color. And Radha is amazed. She asks Krishna, what is that golden form? What happened? I've never seen you in such a form. How did you get this golden form? And Krishna tells Radha that I have been meditating on you. The magical influence of your name took possession in my heart and made me one with you. And I felt like a gopi who is anticipating the arrival of Krishna. I felt like I was absorbed in that mood, and I was so absorbed in this mood of waiting for Krishna to come. And then you came. And Radha said, this is amazing. She said, nothing in Vrindavan happens without your will. This golden form must be your eternal form. Can you please tell me what this golden form is? Radha asks Krishna. And at that point in time, Krishna tells Radharani, my dear Radha, I in Kali Yuga will adopt this golden form and cover myself in the complexion of yours and be known as Gauranga. And he tells her, this is a very highly confidential form that only highly elevated devotees and sages will know. And this form, this golden form called Gauranga, is concealed within the Vedas. Radha, when she hears that word Gauranga, she starts repeating Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. All of us can chant Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Radha says, what a wonderful name this is. How sweet the name is, Gauranga. When I chant Gauranga, I feel as if I'm chanting your name, Radha tells Krishna. And Krishna tells her, no, this is not only my name. When you chant Gauranga, you're chanting both our names. Because the syllable Gauranga are non-different from Radha Krishna. When you chant Gauranga, you're actually chanting Radha Krishna. So when you chant Gauranga, 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 we're actually chanting Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna. And Krishna says, there is no difference between this form of Gauranga and our combined forms. The two names are identical. And Radharani becomes so happy and so blissful. Her lips starts trembling as she chants the name of Gauranga. And Krishna, he continues. He tells her, in the age of Kali, wrapped in your complexion, wearing, taking the form of yours, golden form of yours, and immersed with my heart in the mood of your devotional service, I will appear in this earth to distribute Krishna prem, to distribute Vraja prem. And this form of Gauranga, this form of Gauranga will distribute love in a way that no other incarnation has ever done before. And this is our combined ecstatic loving service that we will distribute. Radharani becomes so happy. She says, so wonderful, so wonderful. And Krishna says, as Gaura, I will taste the sweetness and happiness and greatness of your love. I will also taste the love of the devotees within and outside of Vrindavan. And by your grace, I will be filled with prema, and I'll distribute this prema to devotees and non-devotees together. So, Radharani becomes suddenly she becomes very inquisitive. She tells, oh Sundar, she calls Krishna, Radharani calls Krishna Sundar sometimes. She says, oh Sundar, you are amazing as Gaura Avatar. But I have a question. How will you understand my bhava? How will you understand my feelings? Which are very deeply in my heart. Krishna tells her, your holy name empowers me to understand your feelings. And he is telling her, the more I chant your holy names, I'm able to understand all the bhava that you have. And then Krishna, in a very naughty mood, he tells her that, of course, when you are not looking, I might even enter your heart and steal your love, steal your bhava, steal the love that is there in your heart, and plunder its contents to my satisfaction and distribute it freely to the world. Radharani says, oh, you will enter my heart without my permission? And she suddenly becomes angry. She says, how dare you say that you will enter my heart without my permission? And she says, how dare you will control me? And Radharani, when Krishna sees Radharani in this mood, that she is not willing to give the emotions that are there in her heart, Krishna doesn't speak anything about it. He just keeps quiet. But Krishna knows very clearly and very cleverly that the only way I can repay my debt to the gopis is if I can somehow enter into the heart of Radha and plunder the love that is there in her heart. And when I plunder that love that is there in the heart, I will become the richest person in this universe. I can not only repay one debt, I can repay hundreds of debts. And therefore Krishna realizes that all my life I have been stealing in people's houses butter, I have been stealing dahi, I have been stealing all small things. All that is actually a preparation for this biggest haste of my life, which is plundering the heart of Radha, taking out that love that is there, and then distributing it to the world. Krishna, he is considered to be Mahavadanyaya. But that whole concept of Mahavadanyaya comes because he has plundered Radha's heart and the love that is there in Radharani's heart. So when Krishna enters into the heart of Radha, suddenly he becomes golden in color. And suddenly he loses his selfishness. He loses his enjoyment tendency. And suddenly he gets into this mood of being a giver. Suddenly he gets into this mood of being someone who is magnanimous. Originally Krishna was not magnanimous. Krishna is not so much of a giver. He's thinking how all the devotees will do things for my enjoyment. But the moment he enters into the heart of Radha and plunders the love that is there in her heart, suddenly Krishna becomes very magnanimous and is in this whole mood of giving to others. And that is a story behind how Krishna attains his golden form. Of course, there's another amazingly deep story that talks about how Krishna really takes on does that haste. Few weeks back, when I had done one session, I had spoken a little bit about that, how Krishna enters into the heart of Radha and steals the love. But actually, there is so much more depth and so much more details about that story. Maybe another time we'll go into those details. But I highly urge all of you all to go and explore Na Pareyaham and many of the works of Gauranga Maharaj to understand this whole mood behind the golden avatar, the whole mood behind how Krishna takes on this golden form, and how this golden form is nothing but Radha's love towards all the living entities. Radharani is the most magnanimous mother. She is in the mood of giving. And that mood, when Krishna adopts, he also gets not only the color of Radha, but also gets the mood of Radha. And therefore, when we chant the name Gauranga, we're actually getting to chant the name of Radha and Krishna together. But we are also getting to access that mood of the highest level of mercy, Mahavadanyaya. And hopefully with that, we will be able to grow in our own spiritual journeys, and we will be able to taste a little bit of Krishna Prem that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come here to distribute. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Gaur Purnima Maha Mahotsav ki jai.